Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Tuesday, March the 11th, 2025. Tuesday, March the 11th. Well, not a lot happened, but it was an okay episode. Jason is talking to Anna because what I loved about it is Jason told Charlotte what was up and told her she needed to show some respect to Anna. Because, oh, she was like, I'm not going nowhere with her. And because Anna was talking to her, I ain't going nowhere with you. You are the one responsible for my papa almost getting killed. You're the one that, oh, she went on and on. And Anna's like, no, Charlotte, you're mistaken. That is not how that happened. Yes, it is. And I don't trust you. And if it wasn't for you, oh, she went on and on. Now, mind you, when she met her mama in Prague and a sniper shot at her papa, was Anna anywhere around that? She had the nerve to tell Anna, you probably ordered that. And Anna's like, I would never do that. Right? So Jason walks in and, he could hear Charlotte. And so Anna says, he goes, Anna, let me speak to her. And Anna goes, sure, I'll go out and, keep watch. So she walks out the room and Jason says, she goes, I'm glad you came in because I couldn't stand being one more minute with her. She is the reason that my papa is on the run. She is the reason that I'm not with him. She's the reason. And he goes, you know what, Charlotte, let me explain something. She's the reason you and your father are alive. And Charlotte looked at him and said, he goes, oh, when you left Port Charles to go on the run, it was Anna that tipped your father off that he was going to be arrested. Now, Jason said, I, on the other hand, wanted to turn your papa in because that would have kept you safe. But Anna felt that you needed your father. Your, because Lulu wasn't awake at that time. So that was Anna. She says, and then when Anna found out how much danger your father is truly in, see, that's why we're here, Charlotte, because she cares about you and she wants to keep your father. She cares about your father. No, all she feels guilty for shooting me. And Jason should have said, and he goes, yes, she does. But because of her, you're alive. And what he should have said is, and don't you forget about the part you played in her shooting you. But see, Jason wasn't there at the time. Jason was not back. But see, somebody need to remind little Miss Helena Jr. that she was stalking and terrorizing Anna. Don't you forget it, Charlotte. And people should not let her forget it. Because it's not, Anna shot me. Girl, you were in there stalking her. And Lord knows what you were really going to do in there. Because you sure were looking through her drawers. So anyway, she goes, do you think those men would have really killed us? And he goes, yes, I do. She goes, well, you wouldn't have needed Anna. You could have done it all by myself. And he says, no, I couldn't have. No, actually, he didn't say no, I couldn't have, because look, Jason could have. He goes, maybe, maybe not. But I'm just saying, Charlotte, you don't have to like her. Nobody is saying you have to like her, but you need to show her a little respect. Charlotte just stood there. And I thought, yes, Jason, a little realistic love. Okay. Let's see what Lulu does. Because, see, Lulu was all about that when Charlotte was 6, 7. Let's see what Lulu's like now. Because, see, Lulu acting worse than a teenager, her own doggone self. Okay. So Charlotte goes to bed. Jason comes out on the little terrace where Anna's looking out, right? And he goes, Charlotte's off to bed. He goes, Charlotte's resourceful. She could be waiting for you to walk out, and she could be trying to escape to go find her father. Jason said, "Mm, maybe, but we're not going to let her." And so he and Anna go back in. And she said, Jason, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a separate hotel room, a different one. And I'm going to have you and Charlotte, you take Charlotte, get her back to Port Charles safely, and I will find my own way back. Well, for one, I thought, what you mean find your own way back? Hop your butt on a plane like they are. You want to keep your distance, you can be on the same plane, just in the front or the back of them. You don't have to be sitting next to the girl. So Jason says, do you think Charlotte is a target? And Anna said, no, the target is Valentine. Charlotte should be safe. So Jason goes, okay. He goes, Anna, I have never known you to run. And she looked at him. She says, what do you mean? Are you calling me a coward? He says, I have never known you to run. He says, what Charlotte needs is an example of the way a person should act. Thinking, is this Jason? Because look, lately Sonny's been the one giving all these conversations, right? She goes, what do you mean? She goes, okay, Anna. He goes, you feel guilty. You shot Charlotte by mistake, and you're trying to make up for it. He says, but running, staying away from her, trying to hide from her, He says, that's not showing her. For one, it was a mistake. And for two, you have made up for it. And she has. He goes, you need to show her the right things to do by what you do. And she just looked at him. And I thought, well, that was good advice. Yeah, don't let that little chick think she's going to dictate you being around or not. She was the one that put herself in the position to be shot. She broke into your place. Okay? Lied to her papa. Okay, so there we have it. So anyway, Anna said, okay, you know what? Um, Jason said, no, she goes, no, Jason said, I'll take the first watch. And Anna says, okay. And so she lays on the couch and she puts the blanket up. She goes, wake me in 3 hours, okay? I'll take over. Because Jason's getting ready to go back outside to do the watch, right? So he goes, all right. So I thought, oh, good, Jason. I'm happy he was there to talk some sense into her. So now we have Gio. You know what? Now I'm liking him because his story's getting ready to be broken wide open. He's sitting there, and Emma comes. She goes, no, she walks up. He goes, what are you doing still here? He goes, I promised Tracy I would guard the place. And she goes, all night? It's cold. You're gonna be freezing. And he goes, but you know what? No, I told her I'd make sure nothing happened. So nobody can sneak over here. So Emma goes to the boathouse. She gets some, how she know where the boathouse is? I don't know. I don't ever remember Emma being shown the boathouse. But okay, just saying. So anyway, she brings the chair and two blankets. And she sits next to him. She goes, I can't stay all night because I have an early animals, rights meeting in the morning. He said, okay. But she sat there. She stayed a while talking to him. And then she leaves and he's sitting there. Now, Brooklyn is giving she's getting ready to really give Lois the what's up. And she says, what is it about my son that you haven't told me? And Lois looks at her. Well, there's a knock on the door, and it's her grandma Gloria. She's coming in. And when I saw Gloria, I said, ooh, Lois called her mama. Ma, I need your help, right? Brookie's on the verge, right? So anyway, her grandmother says, what's going on between you two? And Brooklyn says, nothing, it's good to see you, Grandma. But no, she goes, no, 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 something's going on between you two. Because Lois is sitting there like, standing there like, you know. And so she goes, I know what this is all about. And Brooklyn looks like, no, you don't. She goes, you do? She goes, yeah. It's about the baby you gave up for adoption. And Brooklyn looked at her mother and she looked at her grandmother and she said, you knew? She says, of course I knew. Of course I knew. And Lois said, I needed somebody to talk to, Brookie or Brooklyn or whatever she called her. She said, this was all new to me. And I needed some guidance myself. So I went to my mom, you know, and she said, and we supported your decision the best way we could. And it was interesting. The grandmother said, I made all the arrangements. She didn't. Lois did, right? But you know what? Maybe Lois didn't. Maybe the grandmother had some chutzpah and did make all the arrangements, right? She says, but why didn't you ever say anything? She said, because you never said anything to me about it. She goes, Brooklyn, you wanted to put your past behind you and move forward. And we wanted to do the same thing with you. She says, you were young, Brooklyn. We wanted you to be able to grow up and fall in love and have a family of your own. So we supported you. She said, then why did you go see Martin Gray, an attorney? So Gloria told Brooklyn, because I told her to. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I think her mama's covering for her. She said, because I told her to. We needed to know the legalities of all of this. Okay. And if you were going to start looking, what are the ramifications? What could happen? And so they were telling her, you know what, Brooklyn, bottom line, if you choose to do this, it is going to change a lot of lives. Yours, the father's, and your son's. So you need to think long and hard about this because you could be just changing. I mean, you don't know that he's not happy. You could be changing his life. And so Brooklyn, she goes, just leave the past in the past, honey. And Brooklyn is like, oh, she walks out of that. I don't know if I can, right? So she walks out of there, and I thought, oh, watch, she gonna find Gio. So she's walking outside, and she goes, Gio, I thought it was some kind of ghost over here. What are you doing? And he says, oh, I promised Tracy that I would, look out for the blah, blah, blah. So they're talking and he goes, what's going on with you? And she says, some people that I trust, they want me to do something that I just don't know if I could do. I don't know. So he was talking to her and he goes, well, I know. She goes, my other grandma, my other grandma is here. Grandmother is here. And he goes, Gloria? Because, he knows them. But for one, that's his great grandma. And so she goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, Lois and Gloria could be a handful. I understand that, right? But they're good people. Brooks was like, yeah, I know. But I'm just saying it. He goes, yep, but they could be a lot. I understand that. So they had a good little mother-son chat that neither of them know that they were mother and son, right? Where Gio is going to forgive Brooklyn is she never knew that for one, she had a boy, for two, it's him. She never knew. Lois is going to have to face the fallout for that. Now, what's interesting to me is I wonder, is her contract about to be up on General Hospital? Because Lois is going to have to get out of Dodge. Shoot, because guns are going to be blazing, right? So I'm thinking, okay, Lois comes on the show and off the show. And when Lois came on the show, they actually, Olivia's character and life took more of a backseat. When Lois is gone, I guess they could afford to pay Olivia more. So we'll see. We'll see what they're going to do. So anyway, that's what happened with them. Now, that son of a gun, Drew. And I meant something else. Son of a Drew, right? Since when, everybody? Since when has a congressman been able to be in a police interrogation room? He has nothing to do with the legal proceedings, but he's in there, talking to Tracy, and Chase is just standing there. And I'm like, why is Drew there? And he's antagonizing her. Yeah, you're going to spend the night in jail. You this, you that. And I'm thinking, isn't that like illegal, unorthodox? Because you're the instigator. How are you in here talking at me like this? And as a matter of fact, Chase ends up walking outside the interrogation room. And who was he talking to? I forget who Chase was talking to. Maybe he was talking to Don. No, Dante was with Lulu. It was a nobody, obviously, because I can't remember who Chase initially was talking to when he came out. But then Martin and Laura shows up. She comes up to Martin and she goes, what's going on? And actually, Chase tells her, well, Congressman Drew Quartermain is, forcing us or pushing us to arrest Tracy Quartermain, and have her be locked up overnight. And Laura looks at him and she looks at Martin. And so Martin says, no. And Chase walks away. Martin says, I made a mistake. And Laura looked at him and said, what mistake? You see, and he tells her the story about the crypt and all of that. And so Laura goes, okay. What I want to know is how did Drew find out that the Quartermain crypt is just a little bit over on public land? And Martin said, Thus my mistake, dear sister. He almost went back into that southern accent that he got rid of, right? And she looked at him. He says, I was only trying to represent my client. She says, how did you find out? He said, I was trying to dig up some dirt to make her back off, so Drew could keep the Quartermain name. And Laura looked at him and she's like, she goes, you don't know Tracy Quartermain very well. She never backs off. And Martin said, I'm figuring that out. She goes, and now Drew is taking this to another level. He says, I never would try to enforce having, human remains moved. And he goes, can you help? So she tells Chase or somebody go get Drew. She wants to speak to him. I think it was Chase. So Drew comes out. Oh, but while he was in there, oh, he's lording it over Tracy. Yeah, how's it feel, Tracy? See, I'm gonna make sure that you are gonna be on the outside looking in. Oh, see, all you Quartermains, the same old things. You Quartermains have done this, 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 and this. You Quartermains, blah, blah. And all I've done is fall in love. Tracy looked at him and said, with your nephew's wife, you broke up his marriage. And Drew just like, he's put that in. She goes, have you conveniently forgot that? Not only did you break up his marriage, you have also broken Monica's heart because she welcomed you into this family. And this is what you did. You will never, ever be one of us. You are not a Quartermain. You're Drew Kane. And so he goes, well, I'm going to see to it that you are going to be kicked out the family again. See, you've been kicked out the family many a times. But see, they forgive you. They let you in, back in. Same is going to happen to me. And she looked at Drew. She goes, no, it's not. And she said, and I'm so happy that my dear brother never knew you existed. Never. And that kind of, Drew's looking, he goes, well, that's okay, Tracy, because you're going to see. I'm going to win. And I'm going to take my rightful place in the family while you're out. And I'm thinking, what rightful place? Because remember, they're them Quartermains. They're bad people. What rightful place are they gonna let you have any kind of say or claim over the house? Be in the house, doggone it, right? So anyway, Laura says he comes out. Oh, Madam Mayor, what brings you here? She says, Drew, I've heard about what's going on with the Quartermain crypt. Yeah, then it is illegally on public property. She says, Drew, it is not in your political best interest to pursue this. And he looked at her. She said, Tracy Quartermain is not to be messed. She goes, Tracy Quartermain is no one that you want to go to war with over something like this. And he looked at her. She goes, is that the kind of image you want out there? She goes, so I think it would be best, Congressman, for you to drop the charges. And Martin says, it's not going to be good for your image, Drew. It's not. And he looks, he's like, fine. You know, so Laura goes in. Tracy sleep on the desk. And once again, everybody, before I go into what Laura said, where, and daily recap lady doesn't swear, but where in the hell are all of those high powered Quartermain attorneys? Where are they? You know, they gave her the opportunity, hopefully, to make her one phone call. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But what I'm saying is, don't boast about your Quartermain attorneys when I ain't seen ne'er one. You think they could have cast somebody to come in a suit and pretend to be one? Because we haven't seen one yet, Tracy. Heck, Emma could come on in and be your attorney. That girl was deaf up on crap, right? So anyway, um, Laura says, Tracy, honey, Tracy. And Tracy lifts up, oh, Laura, oh, okay. Because she was leaning on her coat. Laura, oh, she goes, I've got good news and bad news. What do you want first? So Tracy says, the good news. The good news is you're getting out of here tonight. You're going home. Charges will be dropped. Tracy's like, whew, good. She goes, now what's the bad news? She goes, the bad news is Drew's not going to give up. He's still going to be coming after you. Tracy said, that's not bad news. Let him. Let him do his worst. And Laura just looks at him. She goes, because I, well, I forget what Tracy tells her. Pretty much, I will go on my dying, my last breath, protecting my family from him. Let him. Now, writers of GH, Tracy Quartermain is conniving. She's underhanded. She blackmails and she gets the doggone job done. I haven't seen none of that yet in her. Let's jump to it. Let's jump to it, right? Let's do that. Because for one, the tape should have been released a long time ago with him and Willow. Or if you didn't want to release that particular one, the bar fight with Cody. That should have been released. Name should be tarnished. 100%. He's not doing his job as the new congressman at all. People say, wait, who? Oh, yeah, we forgot. He should be in that office. His staff ain't never seen him. Right? So now we have Portia. Got in a nice little red dress. Got off work early. Want to come see her boo. All along as she's talking about brokering peace between Drew. Honey, you've won. You've won. Do you really want to keep, have a war? And he goes, Drew's the one doing this. She goes, but Curtis, isn't it, Aurora, what you want? He goes, yeah, and I got it. Yep, you have it. I remember the old Drew. Don't you? Yeah. Your friend. Yeah. Well, I think if you meet him halfway, if you just talk to him, Curtis, maybe broker some peace instead of a war. Wouldn't that be better? So she kept talking and talking, and finally he goes, yeah, I mean, I don't want a war with Drew, but I just, can't trust him. She goes, and I'm not saying to trust him. I don't trust him either. But you don't need enemies. So Curtis says, yeah, there's no harm in it. So she's feeling now good. I protected my butt, right? Which, where she's an idiot, where she's stupid. If she believes that all Drew wants is a sit down with Curtis, that woman is more naive than you could believe. Because the next thing will be, all I want are is my stock back. That's all I want. And if you want to stay out of jail, you're gonna get it. See, no, blackmailers don't stop at one little blackmail. They don't stop there. Drew would never stop there. Stupid Portia. So anyway, Jordan comes in. And Portia's looking at her. She goes, Drew, I need to speak to you. Not Drew. Curtis, I need to speak to you. And he goes, what's going on? Drew is out of control and he needs to be stopped. And Curtis and Portia's like, and so he goes, what has he done now? So she tells him the whole thing about what he's trying, how he's abusing his powers to go after the Quartermain's personal vendetta. He's not doing any of his congressional duties. And he's using taxpayer dollars for personal, to fund this beef of his. And Curtis says, what? She goes, well, we elected him. She goes, Curtis is supposed to be in Congress getting laws that benefit the constituents, to benefit Port Charles. He's doing none of that. So he goes, Curtis is like, oh, no. She goes, so I'm just saying, you are in charge of a you know, $1 million media company. Let's put some of that to work. And Portia's like, no, no, you know what? What I say is, honey, let the Quartermains fight their own battles. Let's stay out of it. It has nothing to do with you. And, it's unfortunate what he's doing, but you know what? Let's just stay out of this. And Jordan said, it's them right now, but you next. It was already you. He's got to be stopped. He's abusing power. So Curtis says, well, Jordan, I'm not making any promises, but she goes, just think about it. And she leaves. And Portia says, honey, listen, he goes, no, you know what? Drew is out of control. He is. Curtis sits down at his desk, picks up the phone, calls his media department and said, listen, tomorrow I want a full-fledged story, deep dive, looking into Congressman Drew Quartermain. Let me know what you find, because we're going to do an expose on him. Woo! Yikes. See, no, Curtis. What you do is you contact Nina. That's the work for the invader. That's not the work for Aurora. It's the invader that needs to do that. And by the way, where the heck is Nina? She's way too quiet right now. Way too quiet. So let me see. I think, Sasha talks to Carly, lets her know, yes, she is turning down the offer and why. She actually likes working at the Q's. And Carly said, yeah, but you were complaining that they were suffocating you and they were this and that. She goes, yeah, I know. But ultimately, she goes, I love cooking for the kids. And Carly said, yeah, but what about the adults? She goes, yeah, they could be needy, but I feel the family needs me. And I was like, they need a cook, girl. They need a cook. They don't need Sasha Corbin. They need any good cook. Because let's be real, in that Quartermain household, who's she really friends with? It used to be Willow, but they're enemies. She's the cook. So no, they don't need you. They need a cook. I didn't know not one child that you runs to you. You were running down, sticking your nose in Michael and Willow's deal when you're trying to protect, Mama Bear his kids. But okay, that was, they're gone. Leo's always with his mama. The teens are teens. Scout's gone. No, Willow. Rocco's a teen. They don't need you. But anyway, Carly says, I respect that. And then she says, as a single parent, she goes, I've just pretty much, ensured a nest egg, uh, some savings for me and my child. And that's so important for me as a single mother. And Carly says, of course it is. Some financial independence. Now, she didn't say where you get it from. Because I know they ain't paying you as the cook that much. And you're not taking nothing from Jason. Carly didn't get into it, but she did bring up Jason. She says, Sasha, one thing I can't tell you, or I want to talk about, is your baby's father. Sasha looks at her. She goes, no, I'm not going to cry. But I'm saying, she goes, but you have a lot of support, Sasha. And she goes, and Jason doesn't tell you people what to do, and he doesn't hover, but he will be there for you. She goes, no, I know. I have a good understanding with the baby's father. She didn't say with Jason. She says, and if I'm good. Cardi says, okay, but just know this: if you ever need anything, he will be there for you. Right? So she's like, I know. So that is it. Oh, Lulu and Dante talk. They have a civil conversation, and that chick Lulu was gonna tell him. See? You see how Lulu is? By next week she will. But I don't know. Brooklyn is really bent on now finding her child. So we'll see, because we'll see. But Bailey Lou started crying. So Dante's babysitting. And so him and Lulu had, pretty good talk. But I don't want to hear from them, from her. Heard enough from her. But anyway, that's all there is. Oh, and when Martin said, Martin, this is the picture. He said, listen, Drew, it's in your best interest, Congressman. Or he said, listen, Congressman, it's in your best interest not to go down this road. Like he wants to, I'm your attorney and I'm telling you, right? And Drew says, I'm gonna crush Tracy Quartermain. Many have tried, even her own daddy. Right? So, okay, there we go. There we go, Drew. You do you. You do you. And whatever. So let's go to comment corner. Comment corner. I'm going to put on my trusty, dusty stopwatch here. And I'm going to go from the top down. Do about 6-7 minutes of comment corner. Okay, from the top down. Uh-oh, where's my comments? That clicked the wrong thing, y'all. Okay, comment corner. Here we go. We have Toya says today's episode was good. I I am again stating I'm sick of Drew's villain arc. He he is so far from the original. As far as we know, he still has Jason's memories, as well as his own. He should know a few things. First, Alan, not Edward, purchased the property that belongs to Monica. True. Oh, good mention, Toya. His grandmother would be ashamed of him, as well as Alan and Edward. Uh, let's see, Alan and Edward. His change in personality makes no sense, and he deserves to lose everything. Does he ever spend time with Scout? She seems to be last on his list of to-dos. That is so true. Kimberly says Drew better be careful messing with Tracy. He he had those cuffs put on Tracy. Chase took Tracy to jail. Drew is too cocky. Sidwell is going to take him out. And silly Alexis is going down for murder. Catherine says, it bothers me that people are judging Brooklyn for a 14, 15-year-old mind 21 years ago. Sylvania says, I think there was someone by the name of Celia Q. Not sure who her parents were. I don't remember that. Um, Sarah says, I would love to see Tracy gather the family and go full Quartermain on Drew, trying to make Drew human by showing he's organizing a hospital project does not make up for what he has become, for who he has become. I want to see Drew pay for once. And Sarah also says, um, it's sad to see Valentine separated from Charlotte. I miss the Cassadines. I love Valentine and Anna. Alexis could use the support from another Cassadine against Sidwell. Well, Alexis don't know she could, and she never would turn to the Cassadines for help anyway. And then I'm going to scroll down to Magdalena's comment. Hello, recap lady. Today's episode was really good. I like the way I mean, not Charlotte, the way Emma did her thing. That's a smart girl. I'm so glad that Valentine put Charlotte first. That was really good. And I like the way Jason and Anna work together. They actually do make a pretty good team to get Charlotte back home safe. And I also like the way Emma was self streaming on her phone. You mean live streaming on her phone? Um, that was really good. And you know what? We should have heard her video should have gone viral, but we didn't hear that. I wonder are they going to take that angle? In reference to Tracy, I'm glad that she got arrested because everything was going smoothly, and so she had to snatch that thing out of the man's hands. Oh, I thought she hit his hands and hit it out the hands, but Tracy said I didn't even touch him. So how's that assault? Let's be real, right? Out of his hands. And why did she do that? And in reference to Lulu, she's going to tell Dante, and I know that. So many lives are going to be changed when Lulu tells Dante, which is really none of her business, but she can't keep her mouth shut. She does not know how to stay in her place. No, she does not. Um, in reference to Drew, he is very cocky. Tracy is not going to let that happen in reference to her relatives being moved. And Tracy is not going to let it happen. Oh, I said in reference to, you said that twice, relatives being moved. Um, and darn that Monica's other daughter Dawn, that's Monica's other daughter in the crypt, because Monica had a daughter before Emily. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you for doing thank you for doing this for GH fans. I've been watching for 57 years. Thank you for posting. Many blessings to you and your family, Maggie. Thank you so much, Maggie. You're welcome. LaShanta says, that's a lie. Yeah, Lulu was still in love with Dante, but she got engaged. She had the ring on. They think you didn't remember. Yeah, I kind of thought she got it, was engaged to Dustin. Maxie was waiting to tell that secret. That's selfish. What she means, show Lulu grace. She's the one who's been nasty to Brooklyn because she's jealous. Watch her spread her business some more. She's already told Cody, Chase, uh, and Brooklyn can't have kids. And then LaShanta says, remember Charlotte apologized to Anna. She didn't mean it. She will be heck on wheels when she gets back. Good, give Lulu heck. Yep, absolutely. I can't wait. Catherine says Tracy and Stella should join forces on Drew. And Sarah says they make a good team. I like their friendship. Me too. Jennifer says Emma was great. BOQ was fantastic today. Looks like they're setting the scene for Dante BOQ love story. I don't know. I hope not. Nah, I don't think so. Sarah says as long as Lulu doesn't get Dante back, I'm glad. I don't think so that they're going to make them together. Jennifer says to Sarah, agree. And then I am says, bring Valentine back this time. It's time. He doesn't deserve a kill order. We need for him to further confuse Anna. And she is confused, right? And then Sarah says, why does Charlotte hate Emma? Because she's Anna's granddaughter? I didn't know Charlotte hated Emma. That's interesting. Okay, everybody, that's it. That's almost 8 minutes of Comment Corner. Great comments, everybody. You're doing a fantastic job. Don't forget, I forgot, I didn't have time to do the flyer or the little picture. This Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern time, Central time, which is 8 p.m. Eastern time. We are doing live. We're going live on YouTube. So make sure you're there. We want to talk. Let's talk about what's happening on the soap, this last month. Now the February sweeps are over. And I will see you this Saturday. But I'll be back tomorrow for another daily recap of General Hospital.